Greetings, family. This is Dr. Baba Amin Ojuok, co-founder of the Uhuru Academy. Let's talk about Black homeschool.
All right, family. Welcome to another episode of Voices of the Diaspora News. It comes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce and present to others one of the greatest solutions in African-Centered homeschool solution, a solutionary truth. None other than my brother, Uhuru Academy's own, Dr. Baba Amin. Welcome, Doctor. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, knowledge born Allah. I'm feeling good, feeling blacktastic out here on this beautiful day. And I'm honored to take a few minutes to talk to you this morning, brother.
I love it. So we're here to talk Black homeschooling and the mission, goal, aim, and objective of the Uhuru Academy as a microcosm to the returning to our identity microcosm. So what was your vision? You, Mama, and Koyo first started the Uhuru Academy.
You know, I've been working with young people for over 30 years, and I was tired of putting band-aids on bullet wounds, tired of being a part of programs and taking jobs with programs as they get contracts and lose contracts, working with young people, working with youth, working in alternative schools, working inside the schools. And it was like, the solutions that we need, we're not allowed to implement inside of mainstream programs. So if we need our story, then you just stuck out because they're not going to allow you to teach our story, a version that they don't accept in these institutions, and just working in the hood and working with working class Black people and kind of seeing the power of African-centered education, seeing what it did for me, seeing what it was doing for my friends who were waking up to knowledge of self, have made people more confident to open their business, made people more confident in their relationships. And I'm like, it only makes sense that it'll make our children more confident in school. And I just always yearn to start a program where we can do whatever we need to do in order to empower our children and not worry about what they gonna say, what it looks like to them. Are they gonna pull the grant money? And we decided we'd rather have something small and powerful than something fully funded and weak. So that was the motivation.
So the first couple of students.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
The first couple of students people, yeah.
My apologies. Finish your thought. It was a delay. My apologies. I let you finish your thought.
Okay, I was going to say to walk us through the first couple of students and curriculum building. You were out in the community for such a long time, bringing those things together and bringing them into a classroom sort of environment. What was that transition like? And then how did you base the curriculum in the classroom setting versus being out in the community?
Okay. Well, the first thing we did was organize what we call the Uhuru camps, right? And started kind of giving the community a taste of the approach. My approach in teaching, I developed and honed over 30 years that I've been in the community because I've been in the community as a lead instructor. We've done rites of passage programs inside the community, and I'm talking about with no funding, right? And so I've already been trained on how to captivate young people, how to captivate an audience, how to make something, make curriculum interesting. So, and I owe that to Brother Ricky Clark. I owe that to Dr. Elizabeth Branch, powerful educators in Fort Worth, Texas, that opened the classroom to me and helped me find my passion in teaching. By the time Uhuru Academy comes along, I'm already a walking, talking curriculum. I already have Black history curriculum. I have youth entrepreneurship curriculum. I have violence interruption curriculum. I had core subject curriculum already in the kitty. So we were ready to go. We understood our mission. We understood our approach. We started out doing Uhuru camps. We partnered with the Doc Bookshop, which is a local bookstore in Fort Worth, Texas, and we began the whole Black History and academic empowerment camps there. From the camp grew the school. Our first student actually came from a family that was in the Nation of Islam. He was coming to the camps, and I was tutoring him in math. And once announced to his parents that we were launching the school, they withdrew him immediately, and he became the first Pharaoh. What we call our first Pharaoh, right? And he graduated. We took him from third grade all the way through high school. And so he was our first student. Next was Supreme Ra Africa and in Kari and their daughter Arabia, who had was having a hard time. I think Arabia was about second, third grade at the time, and they trusted us. It was like, man, we're gonna pull her out. We're gonna put her in the Uhuru Academy, and then it was one of my children, Omari, was the third one, right, that we put in. And so we started with 3 students that year. We started in the back of my friend's alternative school. We didn't have a space. We partnered with my friend who had an alternative school, cut a deal. I taught classes in his alternative school. We started our school in the back of the alternative school. It was totally illegal and against his contract, but he stepped out there for the people. And then we ended up moving the school to a church. In other words, man, when we got started, there was no funding. We were leveraging relationships. We were going directly to parents, directly to families, talking about what we were doing, and we had families trust us. After those first 3, that first semester, the next semester I look up, we had 16. And by the next year, we was turning people around. Like, I can only do 30 this year. I can only do 35 this year. And then it just caught on from there.
So what did graduation look like for those first couple of students? And then what was it like, for you and Mama to take these people from beginning to end and had that first graduation?
Man, it was amazing. It was amazing. I believe our first graduating class was 2016, and one of my daughters was in that graduating class. Um, we were exercising education freedom. We don't belong to the state. Ain't nothing public about it. We completely private. People would ask us, "Where's your high school diploma come from? Is it legit?" And I would say, "It's as legit as we make it. Of course, it's legit. Where'd you get it from?" I said, "My computer. I designed it. I printed it out." Well, who told you you could do that? You don't need permission to do that. We have the power to graduate our own children. Huh? Yeah, right? And so it felt extremely gratifying. And not only are they graduating with a high school diploma, they going to college or they getting a job or they're entering the workforce with that high school diploma. And that happened with everybody, right? And so once we were able to not only graduate, but also have colleges call and commend us, like, "Oh, this is great." Professors call such is a great student. Y'all did a great job, working with admin in different colleges. Like, "I just want to know about the school and will y'all be sending us more students?" Yeah, it felt powerful, right? And it made me realize, we're raised to talk about our rights, and we really don't explore our power. And yes, racism still exists, but a lot of what's going on in our condition is just us being afraid to exercise power, the power that we have.
So taking those lessons that were learned in the space of exercise and power. Now the transition from just the physical space or expansion, right? Expansion physically in different locations and virtually. What was that transition like pre-pandemic?
Wow. It was powerful. As we began to be co-organizers of RBG Family Weekend, and as a part of RBG Family Weekend, we would have ACE conferences or African-Centered Education conferences, and we would invite African-Centered educators from all over the country to come in and share what they were doing. But also, we had families coming in from all over the country and abroad to see what we were doing, and things caught on, right? And people started saying, "Hey, we want African-Centered education where we are," and just with that demand alone, And I'm looking on the other end saying, "Whew, I'm tired of all this overhead on this building." You know, we were struggling keeping our doors open, right? And so you can't be afraid to pivot when you on a mission. And so around 2015, I kind of saw where education was going online anyway. And I said, man, let's get the jump on the gun. Let's get the jump on this. And we began to take students virtually. So initially we had students online and we had students at our facility, right? Eventually we went completely online with the original Uhuru Academy because we had opportunities to work with people elsewhere. We went down to Houston. The Prince family sought us out. Shout out to Ashley Prince and Jay Prince. They sought us out, and we went to Houston and helped found the Prince Circle of Legend Academy in Fifth Ward in 2017. In 20 before that, even before that, in 2014, we came out here to South Carolina and we trained the Washington family and launched the Uhuru Academy South Carolina campus, which is where I reside today. Um, Once our approach caught on, not just because we're African centered, but not no two African centered programs are alike, right? And once our approach kind of caught on and the demand picked up, next thing you know, we're partnering Dr. Mayat with the UACI STEM Camp, you know, and it's crazy. By the time the pandemic came, we had already been online for 5 years. So when the pandemic hit, we already had an online program in place, and needless to say, you know, business got really good because, you know, not only were young people at home, but they were at home and parents were realizing that they weren't learning anything, right? And so the black homeschooling went through the roof during that time. You know, not just because of the pandemic, but also because of the fact parents were really, because they were at home with their children and trying to teach their children, they were realizing that their children weren't receiving an adequate education. Not only were they not learning about us, hell, they weren't learning too much about nothing else either.
So the thing in regards to a student-centered educational experience.
Right.
Like I
Right.
heard you speak about this, and I heard you demonstrate this over the years. If no two African-centered curriculums are the same, no two students are the same.
That's
So,
right.
how do you manage the customization approach from assessment to implementation for a customizable student experience?
Okay. Um, First, we come in with a vision development mindset, right? Of course, as Africans in the school, we're teaching our children about the past, right? But we teach about the past so they can understand the present. We want them to understand the present because our main focus is propelling them into the future, right? So we take a vision development approach at the Uhuru Academy. We assess all our students when they come in math and reading, right? We don't use the same language as the state. For example, we don't say anybody is ahead or behind. In public school, you're defined by where you are skill wise. At the Uhuru Academy, you're defined by who you are as a person. Your skill level is something that we work to increase, but it doesn't define you. So you're not behind, you're not ahead. You are where you are. From those assessments, we build individualized education strategies as far as dealing with their skill level. We set goals. This is your personal skill level. So you're going to be doing some work at grade level, but your lab days is going to be working on your skill level. So you might be in the ninth grade and you're going to be working algebra one concepts, but we know you still weak in fractions. You're going to definitely take some time out for you to build those fractions up. So you have a personalized goal that you have to meet, and you have a group goal that you have to meet. It's challenging for our students, but it helps them develop work ethic, which they get graded for. It helps them develop their participation skills, which they get graded for, and their teamwork skills because they do a lot of projects where they have to work together. So our approach is more of a holistic approach, and we give them a voice, right? So we want to know, what do you want to be? Well, I want to be an engineer. What kind of engineer? I don't know. But guess what? Your vocabulary list this week is a list of different types of engineers. You need to figure out which one you want to be. Here, take this personality survey. We're gonna match your personality with different careers, right? What is it about that job that you want to do? What that makes you want to do that? What are some of the transferable skills that you learn on the way to try to do that? And we teach our children that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Our job is to help build that journey. And if you can't fall in love with the journey, you won't reach the destination, right? And so just taking that approach and having constant conversations about where they want to be, how they're going to get there. We start every day with creative writing. Our students have to express themselves before they go to class, right? Get something off your chest that you've been wanting to say. Or here's an African proverb. Let's use that as a prompt. What does that proverb mean? Let's pick up some life skills first thing in the morning. Let's honor our ancestors first thing in the morning. So when you set that culture, you set that pace, and you give them a voice, the rest takes care of itself. Our students police each other. You come into the Uhuru Academy, we have veteran students that are going to show you the ropes. They're going to welcome you. They're going to let you know you're in a safe space. And I just kind of sit back, right? And it becomes when the culture's right, it just becomes refueling, self-refueling. And so that's how we maintain that. That's how we maintain both a collective mindset and an individualized mindset throughout the process. I hope that answers the question.
The collective goal for the Uhuru community, not just a school, not just an institute, the village that started in Fort Worth that extended to the world. You understand what I'm saying? What's that vision in regards to educational sovereignty and reclaiming the self? Those transferable skills. How does that help uh, the community at large for the future?
The goal is to build Uhuru academies all over the world, but the vision is to build communities around those Uhuru academies, right? Communities are built around industry, but once you find an industry, you need schools, you need temples, you need things in place inside of a community to glue that community together. The Uhuru Academy wants to be a part of that glue. We are an institution that's prepared to partner with any group of Black people. If Black empowerment is your goal, whether it's Black Hebrew empowerment, Black Christian empowerment, Black Muslim empowerment, if that empowerment is your goal, and being culturally relevant and culturally powerful is a part of that goal, we're prepared to come in and train. We're prepared to come in and share and share our model. The Uhuru Academy Global Village is a tight village, right? And it's a village full of people who now understand the power of African-centered education and are ready to support and advocate for any program that's doing so. We're not in competition with other African-centered schools. We support other African-centered schools. As a matter of fact, we seek to partner with other African-centered schools, African-centered programs. You mentioned Q Butter. I've had the honor of counseling him and being a consultant for Q Butter and the ZIAX Institute. Because we're about network building. We have to build networks of schools. We don't all have to do the same thing at the same time all the time. That's not what unity is. Unity is being aware enough and stable enough and powerful enough to come together when necessary and when it makes sense, right? And wanting for you what I want for myself without having to be a part of everything that you do and vice versa, right? And so that's the goal and that's the vision, is to build a network of schools all over the world, but ultimately to build a network of autonomous communities, right? That do business together, that raise our children together, that looks out for each other together, protects each other together, and shares values with one another. I think that's what I can say.
That's perfect. So, final thoughts, Baba. How can people contribute? How can people enroll? What does this 25-26 school year look like for you? And, the growth and development as far as the Uhuru Academy.
Okay. Well, we are enrolling now for the 2025-26 school year for our UA online program. People can go to uhuruacademy.org or .com to learn more about our program and to set up an appointment with me to learn more to see if our program will be a good fit. We also have our Operation Reconnect adult education program that's enrolling right now. If you know somebody 16 and up, that stopped out of school. We have an accelerated school diploma program, and life coaching program for people who are looking for a way to reconnect to opportunities. So we have Operation Reconnect. I also want to announce that the Uhuru Academy is an approved direct pay vendor for school choice programs in both Arizona and in Arkansas. So if you're in Arizona and Arkansas and you are a school choice parent, or whether it's the Empowerment Scholarship, the ESA program in Arizona, or the Empower or the Education Freedom Scholarship in Arkansas, you can use those dollars towards your tuition with the Uhuru Academy, right? Which really opens things up for us a lot, a lot. So if you know somebody in Arizona, families in Arkansas, definitely let's look to partner and be your homeschooling partner. To homeschooling parents out there, you are not alone, right? Reach out to us for homeschool coaching. You can reach out to us for curriculum, resources, right? Or we can be your online partner where you maybe you handle it half the day, we handle it half of the day, right? Right. So if you're a Black homeschooling parent and you're trying to figure things out, scheduling and resources, that sort of thing, reach out to us info@uhuruacademy.com, or you can catch me on Facebook, Baba Amin Ojuok, Instagram @Baba Amin. Right? We here to let's get to work. Let's get to work, right? Particularly with online solutions. Look, the schools are getting dangerous, and I don't like to stoke fear, right? But you see the things that are going on in the news. Pull your children out. Pull your children. It's time to pull our children out of school. It's time to develop our own solutions, right? So while we have room, right? If you have the while we have room, y'all need to be pulling your babies out and enrolling in the Hulu Academy online. That's what I got. That's what I got. Let's make it happen.
Good doctor, thank you for your time. Honest to you, honest to your vision, honest to your family, and honest to the future. Looking forward to having you back on Voices of the Diaspora News here soon for a follow-up.
I say it was an honor. Thanks for having me. Knowledge born Allah. Peace to the Voices of the Diaspora family.
Peace.